Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm your host, as always, Damian Rocha Jr., and today we have another episode on Commander, because if you haven't guessed, it is my favorite thing in the world. But this time, it is different from your normal Marvel set, because I feel like I've done everything I want to talk about Marvel-wise. If not, there might be another episode or two. But this is a deck that I want to talk about, because I was thinking about brewing it, because I got a card months back when I bought arguably the best Abzan commander ever, which if some of you don't know what Abzan is, I believe it's green, white, black is what that is. Might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But basically, after I bought that, so when you buy like precons, they come with little packs in them, like booster packs. And for this one, it is Fellothor the Steadfast. It's his 4-drop commander, 0/5. Legendary creature, human warrior. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have defender. And then it has another ability that makes it better than Doran and every other like commander with these colors. For 3 generic mana and you tap her, sacrifice another creature. Draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness, then discard cards equal to its power. There's a lot of cards in Magic that have like 0 power and like 15 toughness, so you just draw 2 new hands essentially. But yeah, got that, and I opened up the pack. And in the pack, there was a specific card, and that card was called Corroding Dragonstorm, this way. And I got the, like, this variant art with super shiny and everything, and I looked at it. And if you're anything like me when it comes to Magic cards, when you see a card that you like, you try to make a deck or find something that you, like, want to put it in. And I thought dragons, but I don't want to build the Dragon. I don't want to be, like, you know, the Dragon guy, because I feel like anyone who does dragons is always Dragons, always 5-color dragons. So I'm like, no. Let me look for a guy. But before we move on, let me read to you what Corroding Dragonstorm does, because I think it actually is very plausible in these colors. So Corroding Dragonstorm is 1 generic and black for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life, surveil 2. Now what surveilling is looking at the top X amount of cards, in this case 2, because it's surveil 2, looking at the top 2 cards, and then keeping them either on top or putting them in my graveyard. The reason that's so good is because the commander I'm going to be talking about does really well with graveyard shenanigans. So, moving on to the secondary ability, technically third because surveil 2 because there's a period there, but it's when a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its hand, to its owner's hand. So essentially, you want to have either dragon typal deck or like heavy dragon deck, which I don't know why you wouldn't just go dragon typal essentially, but there are some cards that help dragons that aren't dragons themselves. But this is the card that basically made me look, and as soon as I read it and looked into it for maybe like a day, I was like, you know what? I know exactly who it is. Everyone's favorite little guy, Rivaz of the Claw. I forgot what set he comes from, or Rivaz. I think it's Rivaz. Rivaz. He's a 3-drop commander, 1 generic, Rakdos, which is black-red, legendary creature, Viashino Warlock, 3/3. He's got Menace, which means when he attacks, you have to block with 2 or more creatures. He cannot be blocked by 1 creature. He has another ability that is tap, add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragon creature spells. So you basically get ramp. You get two different colors of ramp, or 2 different colors that you can produce with him. Given you have to, like, you know, cast dragon spells, but that's the whole gimmick of this, is the majority of the cards are dragons. He has 2 more abilities. Third one being, once during each of your turns, you may cast a dragon creature spell from your graveyard. So remember that enchantment that I talked about earlier? So, you play it for 2, right? You have mana left over. Say that you have 4 mana. You're going to tap old Rivaz here for 2 more. That gives you 6. You play a big 6-drop. Or you actually bring it back from your graveyard onto the battlefield. Return the enchantment. You already surveilled 2, right? So now, if you have extra mana open for some reason or somehow, you can be like, hey, I'm going to use that mana, bring back another creature after I cast the enchantment again. It's a nice little combo in like later games, but it's going to be super nice, super awesome in my opinion. His last ability is whenever you cast a dragon creature spell from your graveyard, it gains. When this creature dies, exile it. So instead of going back to the graveyard, it's going out of the game and you cannot bring it back. And that's a good like ability to have on this guy, because other than that, he'd be busted as hell, broken, just overall not having a good time in any way, shape, or form, right? But I really got excited for this guy, and I was really looking forward to making him. And I think it was like 3 weeks ago, when a bunch of the Hobbit stuff got spoiled. So instead of blowing my money on this guy, making a deck, and then finding out that there's a specific card that got spoiled for the Lord of the Rings Hobbit, where I'm like, you know what? Let's just wait a second. Let's just really wait, right? So I did. But we're going to be talking about 1 of 4 of the spoilers that I saw for this deck. It's not specifically for this deck. They were just spoilers from the set that I wanted to add in this deck. but I'm only gonna be talking 3 of the 4 creatures that got spoiled because one of them isn't just good. It's just not good to me at all, and I don't really like it, so I won't be playing it. The first one is Smaug the Magnificent. You can't talk about the Hobbit without talking the big crazy dragon, right? So it's going to be a 4-drop, 2 generic, red, legendary creature, dragon, flying haste. So the cool thing about this is you play that Dragon Storm, right? You play the Dragon Storm card, the Corroding Dragon Storm. You surveil 2. You see Smaug. Put Smaug in your graveyard. You see a land. Keep the land there. Pick up the land. Turn 3. Play the land. Boom. Bring out your commander, right? Turn 4. Boom. There he is. There's Rivaz, all 4 of that. You tap 2 of your lands instead of tapping all 4 of your lands. So you have 2 open. Bring Smaug onto the battlefield, right? He's got haste and flying. But because you did that, you can bring that enchantment back to your hand. Guess what? Tap 2, play that enchantment again. You can now fill your graveyard with more dragons. It's crazy. Works on curve and everything. But Smaug also has, because he is Smaug Magnificent, I said is 4/3 legendary creature dragon, flying and haste, which means you can only block him if you have flying or reach, and he can attack immediately as he enters the battlefield, which is crazy. When Smaug attacks, he deals damage equal to the number of treasures you control to any target. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a treasure token. You can bet your bottom that I'm going to be having cards that make us treasure tokens, because just from attacking, if I have 7, like just 7 treasure tokens, that can just take out just about any creature without that doesn't have like base stats or their base stats altered or have counters on them, right? Or just straight to, the opponent, because it's any target, so might as well. And you make one at the beginning of your upkeep, so you can use that treasure for other dragons in your graveyard. It's insane. Like it's crazy, like it's so cool. I absolutely love everything about it. I'll definitely be playing this card. If you have a red deck, I have a red dragon deck that's about Magda. That's all about dwarves, vehicles, and artifacts and dragons. So it's like 4 different things, but mainly dragons in that one, right? But Smaug is definitely going to be something you want to cop if you have any dragons at all in any deck, because attacking right off rip, if you have treasure tokens, he does even more damage, and you make treasure tokens if he survives 1 rotation back to you. It's a good card. I love it, everything about it. Moving right along, the second card. Next, you guessed it, it's another Smaug card. It is Smaug, a Wicked Worm. He is a 5-drop, 3 Rakdos, so it's going to be 3 generic, black-red, for a legendary creature dragon, 5/5. He's got flying. He doesn't have haste like the last guy, but he's got flying. When Smaug enters, create X tapped treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. Now, in a game of Commander, I personally have gotten before Dockside Extortionist was banned, I usually would get like 4 to 5 artifacts on the field, because not everyone plays anything that has to do with green. So a lot of people have artifacts that give you generic mana that you can filter in any color mana for like green, blue, red, blue, whatever. So like you have all the different signets, you have all the different you got Soul Ring, Thran Dynamo. You have a lot of different artifacts that tap for mana, right? So he comes in, Magical Christmas La La Land, there's 13 on the field. That other Smaug, he attacks, that's 13 damage to anybody just from him attacking because of the number of artifacts you have, which is crazy, or treasure you have. Crazy. And then thirdly, whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure card or a treasure was spent to cast it, you draw a card and lose a life, which is insane. Because now it's when you cast a spell, so it doesn't say for each mana that was used from a treasure, you draw a card, lose a life. No, it's just once. So you kind of want to make your treasures to count more than, anything, because you could just dump all the treasures that you create into something else, but they are tapped, so you have to wait for your next turn. But on that next turn, you can easily do 1 3 mana that you physically have, 1 Rivaz, so that's 2 treasure tokens, you're drawing 2 cards off of what you're casting, right? So overall, it's a very good card. Excuse me. He dies, guess what? You can bring him back and make even more stuff, because in black, you can easily sacrifice him, draw 2 cards with, what is it? It's Corrupted something. There's a lot of cards that are just 1 drop. Like it's 1 black, you sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. It's insane. Even sometimes 2, draw 2, and then, what is it? Make a treasure token. It's crazy. So you can literally kill him, make 13, say you make 13 tapped artifacts, right? Kill him, draw 2 cards. Guess what? Use Rivaz, bring him back. Now guess what? You have 26 untapped or 26 tapped treasure tokens for your next turn to basically play your whole hand. It's stupid. And Smaug being a 5/5 with flying, he's a big dude with a big butt. It's going to be hard to get through. It really is. But so far, the 2 Smaugs that I talked about are definitely going in this deck, and they're really good. And I can honestly see people playing Smaug in the 99 more than a commander itself. The other Smaug, just the mono red, easily can be played as your commander because he has haste. You can just cast some attack with him. Guess what? Now you're doing all that damage because of the treasure tokens. He's going to be so good. Smaug, what is it? Smaug Magnificent is going to be wild. Smaug Wicked Worm, on the other hand, he's just good in the 99 because, like I said, the treasure tokens do come in tapped. I guess that would be busted if you just made them untapped. But at the same time, it's only when he enters, so you're only getting that trigger maybe like 3 to 4 times. Because if you're playing black and red, black you could just bring him back with like reanimation spells. So maybe that's what they're going for. Or they're doing like some kind of like Helm of the Host, which is an artifact that when you equip it, when I think it's at the beginning of your combat phase, Helm of the Host will create a treasure token, or not treasure token, but create a copy of the equipped creature, except that copy isn't legendary, and I believe it gains haste, and then it dies at the end of combat. It's a really good card that you can put in any deck, really, just to get double triggers of anything. But since that copy is being generated, I do believe it will trigger a second time, because the copy will enter or be created, which means it's entering the battlefield, which it'll trigger like the normal one that already did its thing, making more treasure tokens. And then you'll have 2 triggers, because if you use 1 treasure on 1 spell, it's counting for both of them, because you're using a spell or casting a spell with a treasure, right? To draw 1 card, lose a life, but twice. So draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. It's crazy. Smaug has a lot of versatility. He's got a lot of usage in him. And that's why they made so many cards of him, which is why we're moving on to the third card. Everyone's favorite dragon that you've never heard of, Smaug. But this one is Smaug the Impenetrable. This card is going to run rampant in Commander. There's no way it's not, because it is a 7-drop, 5 generic, black red. You might be thinking, that's a lot. Not for black, it isn't. But it is a 7-drop commander, 8 power, 7 toughness, flying dragon with flying, indestructible, haste. And if you think that wasn't bad enough, he has, whenever Smaug is dealt non-combat damage, create that many treasure tokens. Want to know what there's a lot of in red? Damage-based board wipes. Do 4 damage to every creature. Guess what? Boom, 4 more tokens. Cool, I'm going to tap one of those. Blasphemous Act, 13 to every creature. He now has, what? That's 16 tokens that you created, because you used 1 from the 4 originally. But Rakdos is like destroy, all that. Black is like exile a little bit, destroy. But red by itself has a lot, and I mean a lot, of red-based things. There's things that make the creature fight other creatures, which means the 2 creatures just attack each other without going to combat, and they deal damage equal to each other's power to each other. So him being indestructible, he can't die through combat means. You have to either exile him, return him to your hand, or give him -1 counters, or just -1 stats. Because he doesn't die if you just attack him for 100 and he blocks it. Guess what? That's 100 treasure tokens I'm making. It's so dumb. This card's going to be, I think, stupidly expensive forever. Especially if it's only in this, like, rarity that they got here. It's going to be super good. Super phenomenal. It's insane. Are people going to run this as a commander? Every day of your life, I can see him being a commander. I see him being a commander more than Smaug the Magnificent, and he's only a 4-drop. And that's the crazy thing. People are going to play this guy simply because when he hits the field, if you do not counter him or bounce him, it's going to be a pain in your back for the rest of your life. So good. And I'm definitely going to pick up a card when this becomes available. It's going to be expensive, and I'm okay with that, because Smaug, and Smaug are all going to be in this deck, because why not? It's Smaug. It's one of the most famous dragons in fictional history, right next to who? Shenron, Purunga, who's another dragon that's really well known in fiction. I'm having the dragon from what's it called? The Neverending Story. I can never remember that thing's name. Dragon Tales. I don't know if they're that worldwide or that well known. Fin Fang Foom, or Fin Fan Foom, I think it is, from Marvel Comics. Oh, I feel like I'm missing a lot of dragons, and people are gonna get mad at me. But you know what I mean. Like these, like you talk about a dragon, you're gonna be like, oh, Smaug and Celagon. Like Lord of the Rings is what I think about usually. Skyrim as well. There's a lot of cool dragons in Skyrim. But yeah, Smaug the Impenetrable. These 3 Smaugs, all of them are going in the deck. All of them are gonna be pretty good. Obviously, some better than the other. It's going to go Smaug Impenetrable is number 1. The Magnificent is number 2. Wicked Worm is number 3, in my opinion. Because 2 of them have haste and flying. One of them doesn't. One of them creates tap treasure tokens when they enter. This guy just non-combat damage. The other one does damage if you have treasure tokens when it's attacking. They're so cool. I love Love their ability so, excuse me, so much. This card is probably going to be the card I look for the most when I'm using any tutor that has this guy in the deck. It's just a well-known fact. Hey, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm going to be the bearer of bad news, big guy. It's going to suck going against me because that's basically what I'm going to be running is Smaug is just in the deck. Because it's going to be Rivaz. I think it's Rivaz. But it's secretly a Smaug deck. Doesn't matter what Smaug it is, there's going to be Smaug in it. But moving right along, there's obviously going to be ways that you want to bring other creatures back that I brought up before. And it's not just this card, but this card is really good. There are other cards that do the same thing. So Reanimate is a perfect example of a 1-drop sorcery. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose life equal to its mana value, right? So you have Smaug. Smaug somehow gets discarded, gets surveilled into your graveyard, right? Reanimate, boom. On the battlefield, guess what? He doesn't have that ability that Rivaz gives it since he entered the battlefield from the graveyard where you have to exile him if he dies. He just comes back and you lose 7 life. Guess what? Flying Indestructible Haste, I'm going to hit somebody. It's going to be stupid. It's going to be good. And the also reason why Reanimate's good in general is because it says a creature onto the battlefield from a graveyard, or put target creature from a graveyard. It's anyone's graveyard. You can take any card from any graveyard. It's not just your own. That's why it's very versatile. One of the best reanimation spells, if not the best reanimation spell. Now, Black has a lot of them. There is Dance of the Dead. There's Reanimate Dead. What is it? It's not Necropotence. Is it Necropotence? I don't know. There's a lot of cards that do the same thing that Reanimate does, whether they're more, they do more, this, that, the third. They do a lot of stuff. But Reanimation, besides your commander, is going to be a very, very key thing, like theme in this deck. Because you don't want Rivaz being the only thing on your, or in your deck that does it, or just, at all. Because if he's the only one reanimating things, you're going to have a worse time. Because, like I said, you want to get around Rivaz's a secondary ability that he gives dragons, where when they come back, if they die, they get exiled because they don't go back to the graveyard. With other reanimation spells, they just come back to the graveyard. That's just how it works. It's just, we're good, we're dandy, everything's great, everything's fine. But yes, you want reanimation spells like Reanimate Dead, Dance of the Dead, Reanimate. Oh, I can't think of the other one. I think it is Necropotence. I might be wrong. It's not Necropotence, but it's like Necro something. But yeah, there's a lot of good cards that bring things back from the graveyard and you lose life or just comes back from the graveyard for a lot cheaper than the actual creature's cost itself. So that's just my thing, is you're going to want a lot of reanimation in this deck. Black by itself has a lot of it. Rakdos is pretty solid with it too. I think it's, what's it called? Something to Slaughter or of Slaughter. It's a 5-drop, 3 generic, black-red. You choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Your opponent chooses 1. You bring that card to your hand. The one they don't choose goes onto the battlefield, gains haste, and at the beginning of your, I think it's the beginning of your end step or next end step, exile it. So, it's another way to get around Rivaz, but, you're still getting it, but it gives it haste. So if you don't have things that give other dragons haste, coming onto the battlefield with haste, you can at least tack with it or do its on enter ability. It's going to be cool. This deck's going to be really fun. I'm very, very excited to get to use it, get to, get the mechanics down, everything like that. But another card that I'm going to talk about is one that is Reanimator, but it's not the one you think of. So it's not just Feign Death, the card that we're talking about here. That's a 1-drop for black. Instant, until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped on its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. Now, this is a good way to keep Rivaz on the battlefield or any other dragon that isn't indestructible or getting exiled on the field. So anybody that comes in, like any of the Smaugs besides the Impenetrable, the one that has indestructible, either one of those 2 Smaugs is getting targeted with a kill spell or is about to die. You go in response to damage, bow, Feign Death. He's going to die. He's going to come back 1 power stronger, so he can even do more damage on the next turn. Or if it's defending, he dies, guess what? Comes back in, and you get his enter ability, or any dragon that has when it enters the battlefield ability, it triggers again because it's dying, seeing the graveyard, and then coming back to the battlefield. This deck just has so much good reanimation, and there's a lot of cards like Feign Death that have 1-drop black that do that for just about everything. It's so good. Black is really good at doing that. Rakdos has really good removal spells. You know, they have Bedevil, Terminate. I can't think of, there's one more that I always forget, but there's 3 instances that just destroy anything. It's going to be so much fun. I'm very much looking forward to this deck because of that. And you saw what red and black has the most rituals. They have a lot of spells that give you like what I think it's Cabal Ritual, which is one generic, one black. You get 4, if not 5. I think you get 3 originally, but if something died, you get 5. And then there's I think it's Pyritic Ritual. It's 2 for 5 red mana. It's insane. There's just a lot of ritual spells in this that give you more mana off of less mana to spend on dragons for less, because you're gonna have a lot of cards in here that make dragons cost less, or creature spells just cost less in general. So yes, you're going to want a lot of ways to protect your commander and just other creatures, and Feign Death and other cards that do what Feign Death does, which is just another version of reanimation, just at instant speed, is going to be amazing. But those are the 2 cards that I really want to talk about, and cards that you really want at instant and sorcery speed, because you want to bring stuff back on your turn, and you still want to bring stuff back on other people's turns just to apply more pressure. Now, you're thinking to yourself, well, what are some cards that'll be useful to, give dragons anything, like any keywords, any buff to their power, anything, right? Well, the one that I want to talk about specifically is another enchantment. It does cost 2, the same as the Corroding Dragonstorm. It is Dragon Tempest, 1 generic, 1 red. It's an enchantment that reads, whenever a creature you control with flying enters, it gains haste till end of turn. Guess what? I'm pretty sure canonically, in the game of Magic, every dragon has flying, except I think 1, and that's because it's super fat. It can't fly, so they kept the flavor text for it. And then its secondary ability is, whenever a dragon you control enters, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of dragons you control. So that piles up quick. Like 2 dragons, 4 dragons, 6 dragons. Well, guess what? The first dragon does 1, second one does 2, third one does 3. With 3, that's already 6. 4, the fourth one sees there's 4 dragons. Boom, now it's going to be 4 more damage. That's 10 damage you've done in 4 turns, given you're still attacking with these things because they have haste. Or they have haste because of their flying. Dragon Tempest is really good because it's every card you bring back from the graveyard, if it hasn't entered the battlefield or attacks ability that triggers, it's just going to be even better because it has haste regardless. Like you can attack with it. It's going to be amazing. And Dragon Tempest is a card that just sets you up for basically the rest of the game unless they get rid of it, because it's going to do damage with each dragon entering. Each of those dragons gets haste. It's going to be stupid. You're going to attack, do a lot of damage to one person. You're going to have a lot of board wipes. There's like, I think 2 cards that are specifically for dragons. Like it says destroy all non-dragon creatures. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's 2, because I think it's Crux of Fate and whatever the second one is. But they're both one-sided board wipes that destroy every non-dragon creature. You can easily put other artifacts in this deck too that help out, give more power. I think it's Banner of Kinship, Door of Destinies. They basically do the same thing. Door of Destinies, basically whenever it enters, I believe, you name a creature type. So in this case, dragon. Whenever you cast a dragon, you put I think it's Divine counter on Door of Destinies, or a Destiny counter on Door of Destinies. And then each creature you control gets +1/+1 for each counter on that door, or like on that artifact. The other one, Banner of Kinship, I think is, what is it? When it enters, you name a creature type, dragon in this case. Whenever a creature of the chosen type attacks, it gets +1/+1 for each other creature with the same same typing as it. If you have 3 dragons, each one of those dragons can get +2/+2 because there's 2 other dragons attacking, or 2 other dragons that shares dragon type with. What is it? Shared Animosity, which is the 3-drop enchantment that whenever a creature attacks, it gets +1/+0 for each creature that shares a type with it. Disgusting. Like the enchantments and artifacts that have specific creature types attached to them are going to do stupid numbers and stupid amount of work in this deck. I'm very much excited. I keep saying that, but you have no idea how cool this deck is going to be, because my other Rakdos deck is Group Slug. It's literally just I don't attack you. I just sit there. I play something pass. If you draw a card, if you cast a spell, if you attack, if a creature leaves the battlefield, if a creature doesn't leave the battlefield, if an artifact is tapped, if a creature is tapped, if land is tapped, if the land enters, if a land leaves. Basically anything that happens in the game, you take damage, and I just sit there. That's it. That's all I do. But yes, Dragon Tempest is another really good enchantment. I would really expect people to put this into any deck that has dragons in it, that have the respective color of red in it. But moving right along, this next section is, it's not all just one card. It's based basically on one. Is that, hold on, or is that on the lens? It's on the lens. Hold on. You guys can't. Yep, it's just a dead pixel. Don't mind me. Am I going to edit that out? Nope, you get to see it. Now there's a smear mark on it. Cool. Any hooser. Next card we're going to be talking about, it's not this specific card, but it's a very good card to put in it. This next entire theme of the deck that I will be adding is all about cloning or making copies. What I mean by that is a good person to talk about is, I think it's Ortheon, Hero of Lava Brink. It's a 4-drop, 3 generic, red, for a legendary creature, Human Soldier. 3 power, 3 toughness. You got 2 abilities. For 2 mana, which is 1 generic, 1 red, and you tap him, you create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Now you can only activate this on your turn, and it does die at the end of your turn or the end of the next end step. The reason I bring this in is because there's something called the legendary rule inside of Magic. So if you have 2 Ortheons on the field, one of them has to die because you can only have 1 legendary creature with the name Ortheon, Hero of Lava Brink specifically. And then the legendary rule kicks in. It has to die unless you have a card that says the legendary rule does not apply to you. Now, the reason this is so good, because if we go back, we look at a specific card we already talked about, Mr. Smaug. Is it this one? Or was it this one? I think it was this one. I mean, that would be good too. But this one has attacks. That's not what we want. It's Smaug the Wicked Worm. Now, he is a legendary creature. But if you make a copy of him, you get another trigger of when he enters. So that'll be another way to get more tap treasure tokens onto the battlefield and more mana to play cards from your hand. Very good. You'd want another one of those. But he also has another ability, Mr. Ortheon, for 9 mana, 6 generic, red, and you tap him. You create 5 tokens that are copies of another target creature you control. They all gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Now, you do that again with Smaug. It's 5 more triggers of tap treasure tokens entering, 5 more things entering, right? Remember Tempest or Dragon Tempest? 5 of them enter. They all enter at the same time, so they're going to do 5 damage apiece. And that's the thing I think is crazy. That's 25 damage because they're not entering one after another. They're entering at the same time. So all 5 of them see each other entering. That's going to be 25 damage, but it's going to be 5 instances of 5 to 5 different targets. That's 5 creatures off the field. That's 25 to 1 person out of the game. That's 15 here, 10 there. Everyone's getting hit for something. That's 25 damage to what? Any target? So you can hit Smaug, the Impenetrable, 25. Get 25 more treasure tokens. Guess what? We're doing this whole thing again. It's going to be great. And the only reason they gave him at a sorcery speed is because if it was instant speed, I'm pretty sure, can he target himself or is it other target creature? Another target creature, okay. Because if he could copy himself, he'd be broken. He'd literally be the most busted character in the thing. Or like one of the most busted cards in the game. But yes, another creature, these next couple creatures to kind of wrap things up are going to have really cool triggers, whether it's attacking triggers, damage triggers, entering the battlefield or leaving the battlefield, right? So, first one, Ancient Copper Dragon. Now, reason why this one's so good is because it's a 6-drop, 4 generic, red, 6/5 with flying, and when Ancient Copper Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. You create a number of treasure tokens equal to that result, or equal to the result. So, if you create 5 of these things, the 5 with haste can attack. This guy can't because he doesn't have haste unless he was on the field 1 turn before. Since you summoned him on the last turn, he can attack the next turn. Let's say you attack with 6 of them. You hit with all 6. They all hit 20. That's 120 treasure tokens you now have to play more stuff with. It's going to be dumb. This is such a good card. This card is still $100 in climbing because they've reprinted it, I think, twice, if not just once. And it's just such a good card that it's always going to be up and high on like everything. It's going to be it's the most expensive ancient, I think, dragon out of the set that came from, I believe it was Baldur's Gate. Because there's copper, gold, brass, sapphire. I always forget the green one. The green one. Because the green one does combat damage and it does damage equal to the damage it dealt. So if it did 10 damage. Oh no, that's just old Gnawbone. Never mind. The green one does. I forgot what the green one does. Oh, the green one adds 1/1 token, 1/1 counters equal to the result of the D20-year-old. But yes, Ancient Copper Dragon is just disgustingly good. Very good card. And having all those having just a second one would be disgusting. Having 2 of them, 3 of them, having 6 of them deal 6 damage apiece, which is 36 to somebody, potentially killing them, more likely killing them. It's going to be gross. Another one that a lot of people will probably talk about. If not, I'll talk about it because it's a really good card. Ancient Brass Dragon. Same amount, 5 generic, black, but in this deck, he can easily cost 1 and you just lose 7 life because of Reanimate or other spells that do that. Creature, Elder Dragon, 7 power, 6 toughness, flying. It also has, whenever Ancient Brass Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. When you do, put any number of target creature cards with total mana value X or less from graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, where X is the result. Now, let me read that to you again, because there's a specific part of it that I want you to hear. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. When you do, put any number, that means any amount of creatures, of target creature cards with total mana value X or less from graveyards. Not just yours. It's a bigger, badder, more gamble heavy Reanimate. Fits into the reanimation, but having multiple of these guys just so you get higher chances of just pulling every creature from every graveyard is going to be disgusting, dude. And they're even stronger than Copper Dragon. They're 1 power tougher. So if you had 6 of these bad boys, that's, oh, my math is bad, 42? Yes, because 7 times 5 is 35, 7 times 6, 42. 42 damage to a player, and you get 7 triggers off of this. Even if you got, 5 on each one, that's a lot of creatures you're getting on your side of the field that you can use for Death Fodder to sacrifice, draw 2 cards, sacrifice, deal damage, sacrifice, target something, destroy. It's going to be disgustingly good. Sacrifice them, reanimate something back from your graveyard. It's going to be gross. It's such a good card. I'm happy I already own a copy of this because I won't lie to you, I'm going to proxy this. I'm not spending another $40 to $60 on this card because I already own it. So, what are we doing, But yes, Brass Dragon will be another one that Ortheon, I think his name is, that, or Ortheon here can do. But here's another guy that a lot of people love, Terror of the Peaks. Now, you can deal damage with him, but the biggest thing we're going to be talking about is abilities. But Terror of the Peaks is a 5-drop, 3 generic, red, 5 power, 4 toughness, flying, or a creature dragon with flying. He also has spells your opponents cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost initial 3 life to cast. So essentially, he's got Ward pay 3 life without having Ward pay 3 life because he was created before Ward was a thing, I believe. So yeah, he essentially, you have to take 3 life in order to target him specifically. He also has a third ability that everyone's gonna love. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. Now, if you create 5 tokens of this guy, they're not legendary. Sure, they go away, but they're not legendary. So all 5 of them enter. There's going to be 6 triggers of 5. That's 30 damage you're handing out because each one of them, oh no, it's 5. It says whenever another creature enters. So when each one of them enters, there's going to be 5 triggers, right? So it's going to be 25 damage you're handing out because each one of those Terror of the Peaks sees the other 5, whether it's this one seeing the 5 that come in, this one of the 5 seeing the other 4 plus the Terror of the Peaks here, yada yada. They all see each other. They're all doing 5 damage to another thing. Going to be stupid. I love it. Everything about it's going to be great. There's a lot of dragons in here that are going to be copied with Ortheon, whether it's him, Kiki-Jiki. There's a lot of other copy spells. What is it? I think it's like Dance of the Twin Flames or Twin Flame Dance or something like that. There's going to be a lot of spells in here that are going to copy target creatures, and it's going to be just disgusting. I'm super excited to have it, and excuse me, I'm going to be a menace. Whenever you see me play this deck, whether it's online, whether it's through Tabletop, or not Tabletop Simulator, through my lens here, you're just going to see me do a lot of stupid stuff that a lot of people are going to hate, and I really can't do anything about it. That's just the way it works. You know what I'm saying? But yes, Terror of the Peaks is a very good target for this as well. Like I said, if he's in the graveyard, you reanimate it, you lose 5 life. Guess what? Just from him being here and another creature entering, boom, you get another trigger off of the target. Boom, you get another trigger off the target. It's going to be disgusting. Remember, these are not the best dragons, or these are like top tier, I should say. These are top tier dragons that I'm picking, and I know there's better dragons than them, or even dragons that are as good. The reason I picked these ones is because I like being a menace. I like being the threat at the table. I like making everyone use their resources to get me out of the game first, each and every time. I don't want to win. I want to be remembered. You want to know who's remembered? The one where everybody has to target and team up on them. That's me. But moving on to this last and final card, the big breadwinner, whether it's reanimating this one multiple times, making a bunch of copies, It is everyone's favorite Blade Wing the Risen. Now he's got a lot of mana that you got to play. 3 generic, black, black, red, red. That's 7 mana total. He's a lot of mana for good reason. Legendary creature, zombie dragon, 4 power, 4 toughness with flying. And you're like, Damien, why would I spend 7 mana on a flying 4/4? Well, here's why. When Blade Wing the Risen enters the battlefield, you may return target dragon permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Play him. Guess what? If he survives or if you have enough mana, boom, 9 mana into Orthion. Blade Wing here comes in 5 more times. Do all 5 of them die? Yes, they do. But guess what? Not before there enters the battlefield trigger. Bring back 5 more tokens or 5 more dragons from your graveyard. And guess what? He's got Rakdos for Rakdos, which is black-red. Dragon creatures you control get +1/+1 to end a turn. So if you got that 100 things of treasures, guess what? Each dragon now has +50/+50 when it attacks. What are we doing? What are we doing if not going for it? Blade Wing's just another good reanimator. Like I said, this deck has so much removal, so much draw, so much protection for dragons. So many things to reduce dragons. So many other things to make your dragons stronger, better, faster. Daft Punk. Anyways, this deck is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to love it. I'm going to make sure that it is taken care of. Honestly, depending on how much like love I put into this deck with like foils and stuff, I might triple sleeve it. Because for some of you don't know, my most beloved deck that I constantly talk about is my Knights deck. It is a Mardu Sir Gwen deck that is all about Knights and equipping them with 0 cost equip, because Sir Gwen does that. Every Knight you control has another ability that says equip 0 to the Knight. So, or equip Knight 0. I got every Blade of in there. I got all the strong things. And they're all real cards. None of them are proxies. Got them all in their respective sleeves, and they're double sleeved. And this Rivaz deck might be that deck. I say that, but Professor Hulk is still up there, and that might be double sleeve too, because I'm so excited for that deck as well. But yes, Rivaz is going to be an awesome deck that I am super, super stoked to start playing. I might even put gameplay up on the YouTube channel and put that up every Tuesday. But yes, so like I said, so much excitement coming out of this. Blade Wing's going to be cool. All the other cards I talked about are going to be cool. Rivaz is super, super dope. Love him, appreciate him, hope him the best, or wish him the best in life. And like I said, he's going to be a fun deck. He's going to be a fun thing because he gives you 2 mana. Turn 3, if you play down a 4th land, you got 6 mana to play a dragon. You can play any of the dragons I spoke of that were 6 or less, which I don't think any of... Oh no, Terror of the Peaks, yeah. You can play Terror of the Peaks on turn 4. Turn 4, you can do that. Hell, early as turn 3, you can play Terror of the Peaks. Because if you play that Corroding Dragonstorm that costs 2, you surveil, put it in the... what is it? Smog the Impenetrable, Terror of the Peaks, any of those big dragons in the graveyard. If you have Reanimate in your hand, turn 3. Bam, Reanimate. Guess what? Big dragon on the field. We did the thing. We're great. We're awesome. We're amazing. But like I said, this deck is going to be great. I'm very much excited because, like I said, my other Rakdos deck is literally just sitting there and twiddling my thumbs and just watching you guys slowly burn. That's it. Just group slug. Having this deck do just absolute crazy amount of damage just from dragons alone. So excited. So stoked. There's so many more good cards that came out after this. Ooh. I think it's Banner of Kinship is the other one I was thinking of, an artifact that buffs up other creature types. This whole deck is going to be awesome, dude. You got to give it a shot, or at least put it in like a deck that has dragons, just so, because it's going to ramp you for 2, and you're going to play dragons anyways, so might as well play them the way you want to play them, you know what I'm saying? But yes, with all that being said, make sure to catch the podcast every Tuesday on Spotify. I think it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or just Apple. Apparently there is Prime too that I think I might be on. Anywhere you get your podcasts. Every Tuesday, like I said, at 3 p.m. Unless you want to watch it in person on the YouTube channel, The Real Rocha. That's TheRealRocha. I believe A. I think there's 2 A's in it. Basically, you're going to see me. It's fan art of me with my back turned to the camera. It's a Kuma with a Charizard wearing prayer beads, but they're Dragon Balls. My design, but not my design, you know. It's my mine design. I had a buddy make it, and it's his design. I thank him a lot for it. Shout out you, Mr. Tarantino, or Tostino, I like to call you. But yes, every Friday there at 3 p.m. You can watch the video and you can comment, tell me what you guys think of it, if you've ever played this guy or if you want to play this guy, because I absolutely love it. Cannot wait to play it, test it out on Tabletop Simulator with some friends just so they can like see how it works, see how everything goes. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to give me any time at all. So without further ado, I'll catch you in the lobby the next time you decide to queue up.